How to stay consistent in your direct selling business, even when life gets busy. Do you ever feel like your direct selling or network marketing business is a bit stop, start? You have a good week, you show up, you feel motivated, and then life gets busy and everything kind of slows down again. And it can feel frustrating because you know what you're capable of, but you just can't seem to build that consistent momentum. If this sounds familiar, today's episode is for you because we're talking today about how to create real momentum in your business, even when life is Billy, busy. Hello, lovely, and welcome back to my podcast series. Do say hi down in the comments. Let me know that you are tuning in and checking out my weekly podcast. So currently I have been doing a little mini series. So this is episode 3 of my 3-part series, Busy but Not Growing, the Busy Women's Guide to Building a Consistent Direct Selling or Network Marketing Business. Now, I'll just recap for you. If you have found this one, you will actually want to go back and watch episode 1 and 2, because in episode 1, we talked about why being busy doesn't always mean your business is growing. And then last week in episode 2, we talked about the weekly activities that will actually grow a business. And today we're going to bring it all together, because knowing what to do is one thing, but actually doing it consistently, especially when life is busy, is where so many women get stuck. So let's start with talking about that stop start cycle. So many women in direct selling and network marketing find themselves in this pattern. They feel motivated, they show up, they do the things, and then something shifts. Life gets busy, energy drops, confidence dips, and the business slows down. And then when they come back to it, it can feel like they're starting all over again. It's like you're climbing that hill again. And this cycle can feel exhausting, but it's also very normal, right? So many women have this issue. So why I want to talk next about why waiting for the right time doesn't work, right? And because I often hear this one, right? One of the biggest things that keeps this cycle going is waiting for the right time. Waiting until things feel less busy, waiting until you feel more confident, waiting until you feel more organized, right? How many times have you said that to yourself? I hear it all the time from women in direct selling and network marketing. But the truth is, life is always going to be busy in some way. And if you wait until everything feels perfect, you'll keep finding yourself back at the beginning, because momentum doesn't come from perfect timing. It comes from taking action within your real life. Now, the other thing I often hear about is that you're going to wait to do the things when you feel more confident, right? But I'm here to tell you, confidence doesn't come first. And this is something I really want you to hear loud and clear, right? Confidence does not come before action. It comes from action. So many women think I'll show up more when I feel more confident. Now, if you're sitting here listening to this, nodding your head, I want you to tell me in the comments. Let me know, right? Is this resonating with you? If this resonates, let me know, right? But it actually works the other way around. You show up, you take the action, and your confidence starts to grow when you're taking the action, because you've learned what to do. You show up, you take the action, and your confidence starts to grow, right? Little by little over time. Okay. When you take small, consistent actions consistently, it makes a difference, right? You don't need hours every day to build a successful business, but you do need consistency. And I know that word can sometimes feel a little frustrating, because you might be thinking, I know I need to be consistent, Penny, but I can't seem to stick to it. So I'm going to give you a few simple ways to make consistency feel more doable, in your real life. I will share, we've been talking about this inside of my Beehive program for women in direct selling and network marketing. And of course, inside of my Beehive program, we really deep dive into all these sorts of topics that I do share with you in my weekly podcast and inside my free Facebook group. But yeah, look, I love sharing little tips and tricks for you, lovely listeners. But of course, the deep dive, the support, etc., goes on inside of my Beehive membership program for women in direct selling and network marketing. And this has actually been something we've been deep diving into over the last week or two as well. So I'm going to give you these few simple ideas, ways that you can actually, to help you make consistency feel more doable in your real life, right? So the first is to simplify what consistency actually looks like for you, right? Consistency doesn't mean showing up perfectly every day. It might look like 3 to 4 posts a week on your Facebook profile. It might be a few genuine conversations each day. It might be checking in with your Facebook community regularly. That's it. That might be it. When you make it simple, it becomes much easier to stick to it. Now, the second thing, so that was the first, the second thing that I'm going to suggest is that you create a loose weekly rhythm, right? So instead of waking up and wondering what to do each day, you might decide on certain days you focus on content, certain days you focus on conversations, certain days you focus on follow-up. It doesn't have to be rigid, but having a rhythm removes the guesswork, and that alone can make a really huge difference. The third thing is to stop relying on motivation. Motivation comes and goes. We all have that issue. I have that issue from time to time. Hey, I've been in business for 20 years between direct selling and my coaching business. And absolutely, motivation comes and goes, right? Some days you're going to feel like showing up and some days you won't. We all have those days. I have those days, right? But instead, what you should be doing instead of waiting to feel motivated is you work on building small habits, right? Simple things like, it might look like I always check in with my business at this time of day. I always respond to messages before I scroll Facebook and get lost in scroll, right? Little habits like that create consistency without needing motivation. I've got my own little habits that I do of a morning. For those of you who follow me on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, my profile, and if you don't already, feel free to go find me. The link will be here too on my YouTube channel. But I go for a coffee every morning, Monday to Friday, before I step into my office and get stuck into what needs to be done on the computer, whether that's meeting with my Beehive membership clients, because I do one-to-one coaching as well, whether it's starting a new workshop for my Beehive program members, whatever that might look like, creating social media content, whatever that looks like, that I need to do on the computer. First thing I'm going to do in the morning is I go and have my coffee at the cafe. Now, I will admit there are mornings I'm running a bit late and it's a takeaway, but it's part of that routine that then sets me up for the day. What are your little routines? What are your little habits like that create consistency without needing motivation? How do you, what's going to work for you? And that's what you need to work out, is what is going to work for you. Okay. Now, the fourth thing is to make it easier for yourself, right? And this is a big one. Plan your content ahead of time, having ideas ready to go, knowing what type of posts actually work. All of that reduces the overthinking and the overwhelm and makes it so much easier to show up and do what it is you need to do. Because often it's not time so much that stops women, it's actually knowing what to say, right? And if that's you, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing your questions or comments. I always circle back and check what you've shared. So I'd love to know, is it for you? Is it more about, you're not sure what you should be saying, right? Now, what does momentum actually feel like, right? Momentum in your business, it doesn't mean everything is perfect, but it does mean that things are moving, that you are making progress, that you're showing up more regularly, people are engaging, conversations are happening, sales are becoming more consistent, and most importantly, you feel more confident, more in control, and more clear on what you're doing. How good would that feel? Let me know down below when you're listening. If you can, jump into the comments. Let me know how would that make you feel if you were feeling more confident, more in control, and you had more clarity around what you should be doing. Now, I want to remind you that you don't have to do this alone. And this is where I want to speak to something I see so often, right? Women trying to build their direct selling or network marketing businesses on their own, figuring things out as they go, second guessing themselves, overthinking what to post, wondering if they're doing it right. And that can feel really heavy, right? And, maybe you just haven't got that right support at the moment. But when you do have the right strategies, the right guidance, and a supportive community around you, everything can start to feel lighter. It can feel clearer, more achievable, and you can start to build that momentum much faster. So you need to be surrounding yourself with a supportive community, somewhere where you feel seen, heard, and comfortable to ask questions. So if you don't understand what's being shown to you, that you feel comfortable actually asking for feedback and saying, hey, I don't understand what you're telling me to do on Facebook. I don't understand what you're trying to get me to do. And I also want to say this: when it still feels hard, like if you've tried to be consistent before and it hasn't worked, it's not because you're not capable, right? It's often because you've been trying to do it without a clear plan, the right strategies, or the right support, right? All of these things can have a negative impact on what is going on inside of your direct selling or network marketing business. And consistency becomes so much easier when you know what to focus on, what actually works, and that you're actually on the right track. Because then you're not second guessing yourself all the time. So you don't need to completely overhaul your business. That is not what I'm saying. You don't need more hours in your day. You really don't. I mean, look, 24 hours goes by in the blink of an eye, but you really don't need more hours. What you do need is the right strategies, a simple plan that you can follow, and the consistency to take action. Have those plans in place. Work out how are you going to continue to be consistent. And see, when those things come together, that's when your business starts to feel different. It starts to feel more consistent. You start to feel more confident and more like something that is actually growing and helping you get to where you want to be, whether that's doubling your sales, growing your team, earning company rewards, whatever it actually looks like for you. That is what I want for you. Now, of course, if this series has resonated with you, if you've been feeling busy but not seeing the growth you hoped for, if your direct selling or network marketing business has felt a little stop and start, I want you to know that it doesn't have to stay that way. When you have the right strategies, when you focus on the right activities, and when you take an action, you can absolutely build a business that feels more consistent, more profitable, and more aligned with your life. You need to make this work for you. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love you to share it with another in direct selling or network marketing who might need to hear it too. I appreciate you for being here, listening to me across this series. I hope you found it helpful. Do let me know. Of course, I do have my Beehive membership program. If you're ready to invest in yourself and your business, you're ready to start doubling your skills, do reach out, or there's a link here on my YouTube channel. And I will see you hopefully for the next episode or inside my Facebook group. And if you're not already in, drop group for an invite or head to my Facebook profile. And of course, If you haven't subscribed yet to my YouTube channel so you never miss an episode, that is something you should do now too. Bye for now. See you next time.